Everyone has an origin story. These are the stories that inspire others to greatness and are passed down for generations. Stargazer is no different. From the moment life was breathed into her, we fell in love. We knew that she had a history and an origin story that should be celebrated for all times. Some boats are born of greatness, and others roll off the assembly line like they're made for the masses. As we seek knowledge and yearn for closure on mediocrity, we turn to research and hope that we were born of nobility. Boats are not just majestic, they're mysterious. We were thrilled to learn all the details we could about Stargazer. With surprises around every corner. Because of the intricacy and sometimes murky lineage of Stargazer and Chris Craft boats, made it difficult to get all the details we wanted to know. In fact, our research has taken us on an emotional journey, around and around. So before we tell you the story about Stargazer, we need to talk about the institutions that helped us become closer in discovering who she was. As we stumbled around and tried to understand and justify what we had come to own, we realized the weight of being part of Stargazer's life. The question that comes to mind: where do we fit in relation to her ongoing journey? Is this the middle or the end of her adventures? As we drifted through where to begin, we found ourselves lost and uncertain. Online, we found hundreds of photos, records, forums that comprised of communities of Chris Craft fans around the country. The trouble is, identifying the exact model of our boat was difficult. Wanting the most accurate information available, we thought a few Google searches would yield us quicker results, and it seemed a lot easier. But navigating the internet is almost scarier than navigating the open seas. There weren't results about our boat. They were just results about boats. As we walked the decks of Stargazer, we could feel the history and the insecurities of the experiences before us. We desperately wanted to understand every piece of Stargazer, who she was, where she had been, what she had seen. Luckily, we were welcomed by an online boating community with open arms. In their advice, they pointed us in the direction of the Mariners Museum. But we were intimidated. Once you meet the ones with the answers, how do you quiet your excitement? How does one steady their mind to ask the questions they don't know? As a boat owner, where do you even start? Because here's the interesting thing about research. The more you find out, the more questions you gather. We mustered the courage to find the phone number. We held our breath as it rang. There was no turning back now. That ship had sailed. Founded in 1930 by Archer Huntington and Homer Ferguson, the Mariners Museum is home to over 32,000 objects and millions of archival materials. The museum has celebrated its 90th anniversary June 2nd, 2020, and it has been dedicated to helping the world understand the ever-developing truth about maritime wonders and the historical figures that sailed upon them. The questions that haunt great men are those of simple origins. How do I seek answers when I don't know the questions to ask? Truthfully, it's all pretty overwhelming. How do you know which resources are accurate? Eventually, we knew speaking to librarians and researchers directly would give us the best answers to Stargazer's story. Now the question is, How do you find out the history of your boat? And after a few phone calls and emails, we were able to put in a research request with the Mariners Museum. The museum is privileged to have one of the largest Chris Craft collection in the world. Their collection is vast. It ranges all the way from 1920 to the mid-80s. With this large span of knowledge, we felt reassured that we would truly come to know Stargazer inside and out. This also meant that all of her secrets would come bubbling to the surface, and we would come to understand if she had descended from greatness or if she was just identical to that of her neighbor at the marina. However, our motivation to love Stargazer unconditionally proved to be stronger than our fears of her mediocrity. Because we are not able to travel to the museum in person, we decided to become museum members instead. We requested a full research packet, but due to the vastness of their library, assembling our research took several weeks. But one day, a thick blue folder arrived in the mail with our name on it. It contained photocopies of boat equipment, registered hull cards, sales literature from the 1970s, an original price sheet, black and white photographs, engine information, and a list of wiring diagrams, and over 80 technical drawings. Whoa! Going through all of these documents was truly like taking a step back in time. I felt a surge of pride and reaffirmed in Stargazer's long, powerful history, as well as the history of Chris Craft. While most of the records were technical, there were a few that highlighted the best features of her model. A hull you can trust for comfort. All in all, a boat that in every way lives up to its name for dependability. Wow. When you think of a description like that, you should think a gold standard. American-made, boats that are reliable, tried and true. It's no wonder that the Chris Craft family extends to American treasures like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and even Elvis Presley, and so many more. Going through the research, our fears of Stargazer's unknown past subsided, washed away by her legacy and knowledge she had held before us. Finally, we could hear everything she's been trying to tell us since the moment she came into our lives. When we christened Stargazer, we welcomed her into our family. And now we know she's here to stay for good. Chris Craft is widely known as a family empire, and the records show for themselves how they incorporated the importance of the family values into their boats. Thanks to the Mariners Museum, we have what we need to understand Stargazer a little better. But we hope we never stop learning new things about her. Thanks for joining us today, Cruiser. We hope you find the courage to meet the new day dawning on the water. I am proud to call Stargazer part of our family. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below to see our adventures aboard good old Stargazer. I'm honored to be cruising with you today. See you soon, Cruiser. We love you.